Welcome back to the Robot Brains podcast on the DL, where we take a step away from AI and learn more about our latest guest with 10 quick personal questions. All right, let's dive in. Alex, if you could have a robot take over any part of your life, what would you have it do?
I'd probably choose autonomous driving, but I don't own a car. I cycle to work, so probably my domestic tasks. I'd love to have it cook, clean, and do my laundry.
Who has inspired you the most in your career journey?
I've been fortunate enough to have a number of mentors, from my dad and my family through to research mentors, people I've worked with through my PhD, and people like yourself, Pieter, have written groundbreaking research. So, who's inspired me the most? I think it's a number of people. It'd be hard to single out a single person.
It's always hard to single out one person. If you were forced to do so, who would you pick?
If I was forced to do so, Sir Edmund Hillary. I think he has a fantastic story of being the first person to summit Mount Everest, and one that is, come from a beekeeper in New Zealand to going on an expedition to fighting against all odds to being able to achieve a world first, something that no one at the time thought was possible. So I would name him.
If you could give robots and machines one human value, what would it be?
Definitely humor. I think the world can always do with more humor.
Outside of the world of tech, what excites you most about the current state of the world?
I like the growing amounts of inclusion and the steps that the world is taking to improve the inclusion and diversity in society. I think we've got a long way to go, but it's been really encouraging to see a lot of the focus that many important people have placed on this recently.
If you had to give up work and volunteer for the rest of your life, what will you do and why?
I would love to get out into the outdoors, and I think I'm very, very passionate about conservation and really protecting and respecting the natural world. In fact, the name Wave came from a desire to want to be able to catch waves home in London. It's very, very hard to. There's no surf beaches here, but we'll do what we can with creating an autonomous vehicle that can give you a similar experience to surfing a wave. But I think getting out into the environment and helping preserve, respect, and share and enjoy and love the natural world is something I'd love to spend time and energy on.
What's the last book you read?
Well, I'm reading one at the moment called It Can Now Be Told, written by the Army general who led the Manhattan Project in the 1940s. It's a fascinating story of leadership and also scientific discovery in a very different setting to what we're used to.
Best present you've ever received?
Probably the 8 1080 Ti NVIDIA GPUs in my PhD that let me write a lot of the deep learning papers I did. I used to have those in my room in Trinity College in Cambridge, which was just down the hallway from where Sir Isaac Newton used to live. I had this room that it's like a castle, that building. There was no Wi-Fi, only no heating, no shower, only baths. It was very much like out of the Middle Ages. And I had this 8 GPU rig in the corner of my room that used to make the room 30, 40 degrees Celsius at each day that I used to run my experiments with. But that comes to mind.
Dinner with one person, can be living or deceased.
Alan Turing. I think it would be fascinating to learn about and understand the discoveries and challenges that he went through. I think it'd be fascinating. Who would you choose, Peter?
I think I would choose Phil Jackson, head coach of the Bulls and the Laker dynasties. He just managed some of the most talented people in the world, and that's typically very hard to do well, and he just made it work. And I think there's a lot to be learned from that. And that translates over to my own life, to work with a lot of talented people that I'm effectively managing in a different context, of course. Most overrated virtue.
That's a contradiction, isn't it? Most overrated virtue. All the virtues that come to mind are quite important. I might have to think about that one.
What's something that many people don't know about you?
I have been fortunate enough to climb and stand on top of a number of small mountains in my life, and have loved the challenge and the view on every one of them.